Cases of canine Lyme disease have been widely reported throughout the United States, and it's now found in regions where it was previously never identified. Because of the serious nature of Lyme disease, an accurate diagnostic test is especially important for determining infection status, defining next steps, and evaluating preventive measures. Fortunately, there are a number of tests available to veterinarians that can aid in the diagnosis of Lyme disease. The IDEXX SNAP 40X Plus and LymeC6 tests accurately detect C6 antibody response to Borrelia burgdorferi, the primary agent of Lyme disease. And IDEXX diagnostics are proven to not generate false positives due to Lyme vaccination. In order to understand what makes the C6 peptide critical to the accurate diagnosis and management of Lyme disease, let's take a closer look at how infection occurs in the dog. Carried by the deer tick and western black-legged tick, Borrelia burgdorferi is a spirochete bacterium and the primary agent of Lyme disease. Through a unique genetic process, the spirochete is able to transform its outer surface proteins at different stages. First, to move from the tick into the dog, and second, to trick the dog's immune system and avoid detection. The first set of outer surface proteins, called OSP proteins, are what allow the spirochete to move from the tick into its host. The OSP-A protein is expressed to localize the spirochete in the midgut of the tick. Then, as the tick begins to ingest its blood meal, OSP-C is expressed to promote movement of the spirochete into the mammalian host. Both OSP-A and OSP-C are primary targets of Lyme vaccines, as well as certain other diagnostic tests. Vaccinal antibodies help to immobilize the spirochete within the tick and prevent transmission. But if it's successful in entering the host, a transient antibody response that recognizes OSP-C begins to appear, indicating exposure. And so, for the spirochete to survive, it must shed its OSP-C coat and create a new disguise. This new disguise is a protein called VLSE. Expression of VLSE allows the spirochete to conceal itself with multiple different coats over time to avoid elimination. And despite the changes VLSE undergoes to trick the dog's immune system, it's here that the C6 peptide can be found as one of the protein's constant regions. Antibodies to C6 can be detected as early as 3 to 4 weeks post-infection. It is important to note that VLSE is continuously expressed beginning 7 to 21 days after the spirochete has entered its mammalian host. VLSE is not expressed within the tick or when it's grown in culture to produce Lyme vaccine. Because VLSE and its C6 peptide are expressed only after entering the host, C6 antibody response can be considered specific for Lyme infection and distinct from exposure or vaccination. As active spirochetes continue to change their VLSE surface proteins over time, with C6 present in each new variant, the host will produce more C6 antibodies. And when infection is brought under control by antibiotics or an effective immune response, variation in VLSE stops and C6 antibody concentrations decrease. This is why the IDEXX LymeC6 test, with a reliable quantitative measure of C6 antibody concentration, is best for identifying active Borrelia burgdorferi infection. LymeC6 is also proven effective in measuring response to antibiotic therapy, as decreasing levels of C6 antibody in the patient signifies control of infection. Additionally, the IDEXX SNAP 40X Plus test accurately detects C6 antibody response, as well as 5 other vector-borne diseases, making it an important part of every preventive care visit. You have plenty of options for point-of-care testing, but only one with proven ELISA reference laboratory technology and a multi-analyte platform. The SNAP line of assays is your first choice for actionable in-house results you don't have to second guess.